What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
Hi, are you curious about careers in the booming video game industry? Imagine getting to spend all 4 years of college doing exactly what you love. You can at the Game Studio at Champlain College, located in beautiful Burlington, Vermont. Champlain College's world-renowned game development program consistently ranks in the top 20 game design schools by the Princeton Review, and its graduates go on to work at AAA studios around the world, including Ubisoft, Sony Bend, Insomniac Games, and more. You'll work in collaborative teams with other game art, game design, game programming, and game production management majors in 6 state-of-the-art game labs modeled after industry studios. You'll be taught by game industry expert professors whose entire focus is on your success. You can even study abroad and be fully immersed in the game industry at Champlain's Montreal campus, located in one of the world's largest gaming hubs. Find out more at gamestudio.champlain.edu.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the NECC Rocket League week number 3 here. My name is BassFromThePast and I'm joined by none other than the one, the only Chase Nuclear Nukem. Chase, how are you doing this fine afternoon, my friend?
I am doing wonderful, and I gotta tell you, Bass, I'm ready to get the ball rolling. As we move into this week's matches, it's gonna be a hype day. We're kicking off the stream today, and I couldn't ask anyone better to be with than Bass from the past himself. Bass, who we got on today?
Well, the first teams that we're going to be watching here are going to be Champlain College versus Becker. Both of these teams are going to be in the Division II area, and so it's going to be a pretty competitive match. However, we were both just talking about this, looking at the sheets, looking at what their previous stuff had been. Little bit of a difference between the two of them. Becker have had 2 losses in a row to start off their season, a bit of a rough start. Meanwhile, Champlain are off to a very hot start. They are 2 wins in a row, taking down Northern Kentucky 2 the first week 3-0, matter of fact. So they've been on a hot start. They've been up and up as time has gone on. So if there's a time for Becker to, prove what they've got, this is the one. They need to have a good result here and try to get their season into an upswing from here on out.
And, I don't mean to call out Becker, but they honestly at this point have not won a game so far in the series. So in their week 1 and week 2 performance, they did lose 0-3. So even if this week they take a couple of games, we see them rocking a couple of goals, we want to see that momentum carry into next week because, it's spring semester, it's COVID, everyone is dealing with some terrible challenges going on right now. And those dubs matter all the more at this point in time. So Becker versus Champlain. I honestly think it could be a close game depending on how well they play off of each other and depending on how the matches go.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. 5 minutes on the clock. Game number 1 underway. Let's see what they've got as these 2 teams are here to battle this one out. And it's going to be CCE, Champlain in the blue, Becker in orange, just so you guys, you lovely folks at home, can keep track of this one. And already, though, it looks like it's going to be Champlain on offense here. They've got one to the middle. Humphreys almost able to slot one in, but the defense will hold strong. Follow-up shot from Jake and Bake is not going to be able to make it through. But so far, it's been all offense for Champlain here. We need to see a quick response out of Becker. Not quite able to get one. That is a bit lackluster of a shot. The offense for them is not quite finished yet.
Oh, yeah, 100%. We got to see those rotates come out and strong, right? I've talked about this time and time again. If you're even in the first 2 divisions, you've got to play off of the touches, right? And you've got it when the ball's in front of the goal, you can't drop the ball. You've got to be on top of it. Billy Gates going up top, looking to get one off the backboard, barely going to miss. The rotate didn't come through, and it's going to go midfield again.
One more attempt here, though. They might be able to run with this one. Ooh, that's not the touch they were looking for. Billy kind of just stomps it at the side, and it gives some opportunity now to Becker to start with a counterattack here. Not quite able to make a final shot, though. Completely swept up by Champlain. And really, the big difference we're seeing right now, Champlain are controlling the pace entirely here. It's been about 1:30, and yes, there have been some opportunities for Becker, but so far, it has been all Champlain as they have just controlled pace, controlled the offense, and controlled possession. Speaking of which, Humphreys now is going to pop it into the Becker half yet again. Maybe Becker can get a good counterattack, but right now their offense is lacking something mighty fierce.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Even though they have controlled the pace, we haven't seen that many shots on goal that are actual shots that would go in the goal, right? We're seeing a lot of shots, pop shots just being taken at the goal, and nothing that's really following through. So I think the offense from both sides is pretty lackluster at this point, and we really haven't seen a chance to see the defense shine. As I say that, Pa's gonna score!
All right, well, we'll take this one. Humphrey's going to make a bit of a too early of a pre-jump is what we'll call it there. Not going to give them the mobility they need, and PA will be straight in the center, ready for that one. Easy stuff so far here, and after taking on a ton of offensive pressure, Becker have a quick response, and well, now it's up to Champlain to try to finally finish off one of these offenses. Like we said, and like you were just mentioning, they've had the offensive pressure, but no real shots have arisen yet. So halfway through this game, they've got to come in with a different plan. Otherwise, it's going to be the same sort of story. Offensive pressure, but no final punishment. And, well, here comes the punishment out of Becker. Maybe they can get something through here. Not quite able to, but again, that's the difference. Becker, once they finally get into that last third, they really do look threatening on offense.
Oh, 100%. And PA looked really threatening both in the shot that he made earlier and the shot that he just that he was going for a second ago. Yokal's also getting a demo out midfield, so we're seeing a fight coming from Becker. They really want to take this one home.
They're trying as best they can. They ring a couple off the bar in the backboard there, continuing to pepper the net, and their offense is getting warmer and warmer, and unfortunately for Champlain, they really haven't gotten better as time has gone on. That initial pressure we saw was the best pressure, and since then, it really has been the Becker counterattack. It's been the highlight of the offenses here. Similarly, though, the defense is looking a bit shaky for CCE. They are trying their best to recover, but as they make panic touch after panic touch, they're just wasting time. They are down 1-0 here. They cannot afford to give up opportunities, and they will not. Jake is going to punish here. A bit of an unfortunate backflip after PA can't quite make the challenge, and all of a sudden, it's an open net for Jake to shoot upon.
Yeah, that was a really, really good juke from Jake, too. He's shaking and baking and jaking him. We saw earlier, Jake was kind of just touching the ball around the side on the defense, just trying to play mind games with what seemed like Champlain, and it just didn't work, but that play was amazing.
So far, oh my word, though, they're going to try to follow it up with another banger. So far, I was going to say, this one has kind of been a bit chaotic here. It doesn't really seem like either team have quite the momentum in their half. Becker have been getting good opportunities, but they really only arise off of random counterattacks. Meanwhile, on the other end, CCE, oh my word, they just get shots out of nowhere here. This was probably not the touch that Yokos wanted, but the follow-up jump from Billy was just perfect.
That angle was amazing. Billy Gates, doing what he does best with those Microsoft touches.
Word. So far, this one has been back and forth, chaotic action all over the place, but it's definitely to the advantage here of Champlain for right now, though. Oh, but they do have a player that is trying to sort through some connection issues, so they're going to have to play on for right now. If they can continue to withstand through these connection issues, they should be all right. Speaking of which, Billy tries to go for a solo play, gets it almost to Humphreys, but instead it'll be popped back into their own half, and Champlain, again, they just need to hold off. 30 seconds left here now. If they can hold off for this time, they should be good. And matter of fact, Becker are giving them all the space in the world. It's been a plethora of touches so far, and they still haven't been challenging that much. Becker are wasting way too much time. I don't think they realize the advantage they have right now. They've got to jump with only 15 seconds left and a goal difference of 1.
Yeah, and really all Champlain has to do right now is just hold. All they have to do is hold. They have 10 seconds. Billy Gates is going to score again, making that deficit even larger.
How on earth? It's, again, we said the advantage was fully in the Becker half. They were absolutely the team that could take advantage of these disconnections and these connection issues here. If they had been able to jump on it quick enough, they would have probably taken this game, but instead, somehow, the two-man duo, the two-man army of Billy Gates and Humphreys are going to be able to withstand as Billy puts out another save, and CCE take it 3-1.
Wow, that was a great game from CCE. And they really took that first minute. I feel like the first minute and a half was entirely different than the rest of the match itself because they were just kind of feeling out the field. It felt like both teams were very non-committal on their goals. They were just trying to see what the defense looked like on the other side. And man, Billy Gates and Humphreys clutching that one out for CCE.
Yeah, absolutely a clutch game indeed to really show that they can withstand the pressure. And, well, that's exactly what they need to do there, especially against a team which needs the momentum the best that they can. Like we said for Becker, it's about getting that first game, getting that momentum on their side, and then kind of running with that from there on out. If they're not able to do so, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to gain any sort of momentum. So not being able to take the advantage there when they had a 2v3 really is going to be incredibly not advantageous to them, not only just for, the scoreline, but also mentally. It's going to be hard to be able to fight through when you know that even at a 2v3, you were struggling to be able to hold off the offense of your opponent. So hopefully they can take a deep breath, they can recenter themselves and come into this next game with a bit more of a level-headed mentality. I truly do think that Becker, we saw them at their highlights, their counterattacks were absolutely deadly. So we'll have to see if they're able to continue with those counterattacks in this next game. I really do hope so because, CCE, that was quite the performance in game number 1.
100%. I can see Becker coming back from this too. PA is showing that he is on par this game. He knows exactly what rotates he needs to do. I'm even seeing some cheeky plays from him, just trying to flip it into the net. But I think that going into this next game, they just got to play around the synergy of their team and be a little bit more aggressive and intentional with their touches.
We're going to have to find out if they can do so. Game number 2 underway here, and, well, we might get a good offense. Oh, not quite yet for Becker. They have a touch in the midfield, but unfortunately, Mountain Drew can't do that solo. All he can do is get a little bit of a laydown. There needs to be a teammate that's following that up, that's trying to keep that offensive pressure. Mountain Drew is picked up on that as they go diving in, trying to slot one in. Unfortunately, though, the quick counterattack out of CCE is going to be just as efficient. Champlain are on the offense, but that miss out of Humphreys might just be the end of it. Billy Gates tries to go high, but as Yokel might have a touch off the backboard. No, instead, Jake will pop this one out to the side. And all of a sudden, we're starting to see that firepower out of Becker that we had been waiting for.
Yeah, I thought that Jake was going to go for a goal there, but it looks like he was going for a pass. I feel like that wasn't communicated very well because no one really followed up on that, and they lost possession fast. They've got to be intentional with where they're passing and how they're passing if they want to come back in this series.
Yeah, they've got to try and play very precise because you know Champlain, they're going to be playing as precise as they can. Humphrey's going to open this one up here. And this was just a heads-up play out of Humphreys. Recognizes he's got the entire right side to shoot upon, but why not just pop it high above Yokel's? Awkward position, left side, perfect placement, and 1-0 it becomes.
Yeah, the defense there was definitely lacking. I really felt like that was a defendable goal. You've just got to be on top of that. That's just mechanics at that point.
Yeah, unfortunately so, and right now, though, it's not the type of scenario that Becker were hoping for going into game number 2. They might actually have an opportunity here, but Jake will be able to get back to that one. Mountain Drew will at least put a shot on target. It does seem like Drew is starting to become integral to this offense as he's putting on a ton of pressure. Last game it was PA. Maybe we need to see all three of them step up to the pressure at once because it really does seem like this is kind of solo play after solo play. They're so afraid of getting counterattacked out of CCE that they're leaving a lot of pressure on the table that they should not be.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that CCE is just able to really pick up the pieces from that, right? It's not very difficult at that point if there's not much defense going on. Yokal's taking advantage of that, though. Speaking of no defense, running it downfield. No one's in goal. Nobody's home. We here. Bop!
I'm very confused by that one after seeing what was a decent defensive effort out of CCE in the last one, especially considering they had 2 players. Now that they've got all 3 in, all of a sudden it's a bit of panic on the back end here. They're not really quite sure what to do. They throw too many players at the offense, and it's an easy counterattack for everybody off of Becker. They're not quite done yet. Again, Becker, these counterattacks have been their best part of the both offense and really the defense here. Oh, but the defense does have to hold strong for at least a moment. PA will get a save. Yokels will interrupt the next touch out of Billy here. And, well, I think they might be able to launch a counterattack. Not if Jake has anything to say about this. Again, it's this pressure from CCE that is just unstoppable here. And Billy with the most heads-up play ever. This doesn't seem like this is much of an IQ sort of thing versus mechanics, but it is. Billy recognizes he goes for an early challenge there. Tons of defenders able to block him. He waits a second, sees if he can get another touch. Easy shot to make. Very well done out of the Champlain offense.
Oh, 100%. As soon as they went up to challenge him, he just switched the script entirely and started spinning. That was a great play from Billy Gates.
Very, very heads up, and all of a sudden we have CCE back on top here. Chase, we're not necessarily seeing the same problems here for Becker. This one feels a little bit all over the place. They're doing a decent job on defense. The offense is getting their power together, and they're really starting to become a bit more lethal, but somehow they keep finding these goals on the back end that they're not quite prepared for. What do we need to see out of Becker right now? We've told them a couple of different things that they can change up, and they've made the adjustments, but are still, unfortunately, on the losing end in game number 2 so far.
I really think it goes back to your structure of practice and what you practiced going into these matches, right? If you practiced, following that rotate structure of having a 1, 2, and a third following around, do that. If you have a designated defender, do that. But you are leaving goals wide open and you're missing shots that you shouldn't in goal. So, it goes back to what is your plan, what is your strategy, and are you sticking to that? If not, what is the adaptation? What are you doing, and is everyone on the same page with that adaptation?
Absolutely. They need to be able to either make the adjustments that are necessary and have everybody on board, or they need to stick to that original plan. Again, it does seem like whatever they have changed and started doing in game number 2 has been working, but it's these small gaps that keep arising that are punishing them severely here. Billy's going to put one in, and again, it's 2 players in the corner. Mountain Drew then dives to try and make up for said double commitment, and as Yokels has a bad touch out in the middle, it's just an easy shot to put in for Billy. So you could see as everything just started to crumble apart there on the back end, and that was panic in its purest form, and unfortunately, Becker cannot afford that right now.
Yeah, they all rotated same side there, and they were all just clumped up and stuck. No one had boost, it was just kind of, everyone was stuck in that corner, and then they popped it across mid in front of the goal. You could not expect Billy Gates to not take that shot if you put it in front of him.
Yeah, that's just an easy shot. Again, it's sort of the difference between the two teams right now. CCE, it's that continued pressure that we had talked about earlier. They can just over and over again put shots on, put pressure on, keep the offense going, and eventually their opponents are going to make a mistake and they'll be able to get it through. Game number 1, they didn't have that same firepower because we didn't see as many errors on the back end for Becker. But now that the pressure is on, and now that all of a sudden they're, oh my word, really feeling the pressure, you can see the panic touches on the back end. Someone probably should have had the shot there for CCE, but really they don't need to rush anything. They have been playing patiently. They've been waiting for their opportunities to arise, and even though they can't get one in there, all they need to do is time waste. They are up 3-1 here. This has been a dominant game number 2 out of CCE. Champlain continue to have an electric offense, and oh, what? Maybe, no, not quite one more time. Almost able to slot in another, but they will still take the win nonetheless. And Chase, this is not the position that Becker were hoping for. They are down 2-0 on the verge of a sweep again here in week number 3.
It is looking to me very clearly like Becker is losing their cool, and they need to take a second. Everyone needs to close their eyes and just take a deep breath moving forward and focus on what they worked on, right? We saw way too many double commits that game. We saw way too many people rotating to the same side and clumped together. You can't set up shots if you're all in the same place, right? That's what gold and plat lobbies are for, right? Where we're in a collegiate conference, you have got to know pass plays and you've got to set those up. If not, you got to take this game back to the drawing board and you now know exactly what to work on.
Oh, 100%. And again, these are not players that are, we have, our tier 3 where some of the players are a little bit less familiar to this game. They're trying to get comfortable. Here in tier 2, though, we do have competition that are at Grand Champ level. Matter of fact, Billy Gates has his Grand Champ tag on. So this is where the pressure is really on. We've got players here that have been in this game for thousands of hours, most likely. They have put in time into their craft. So if you put all that time and dedication into your craft and then all of a sudden you just start crumbling because of the panic, it's not a good scenario. So Becker, we know they are capable players. We have seen them play as capable players many times before, but now is when it counts the most. You are on stream. You are in front of all of your peers that are watching this game, and you need to get this win now more than ever. Again, they have not been able to secure a single game so far this season. So getting one here, starting this reverse sweep, absolutely integral. Let's see if Becker can do so. Game number 3 underway.
And we're getting on the kickoff. It looks like PA is going to get that kickoff, push on the other side, but they're going to quickly return over to the other side. Billy's going to stop it, put it to the corner. Jake going to get a great demo off there. PA going for the goal, but he was not able to follow up. It's shots like those that we're talking about, right? You can't just go over top of the ball. You've got to challenge midair and go for that 50 for the goal.
Yeah, they've got to just keep that extended pressure up. This is why CCE have done so well. Champlain continue to put that pressure on over and over and over again on offense, and eventually something cracks to where they have that perfect opening. So far, we just haven't seen that extended pressure out of Becker. We know it's there. We know it's possible. It just hasn't arisen.
Oh, and I will say, it seems like Becker individually as players, they're playing great individually. They know what they're doing. PA's getting some movement out. Mountain Drew is in the goal. He is stopped. Last game, he had 3 defends on goal, right? Yo Calls is also moving around, but they are not playing with each other, and that is integral when you are playing on a team-based league.
Absolutely. You need to be able to play as a unit here, and so far it really hasn't been that way. Maybe the communication isn't just where it needs to be today, but as you see Paul go for this one, and then as well as Yokels, 2 in the corner, no one home, and it's a scramble to try and cover the net again. Missed rotation's going to plague them now, as well as, again, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that it just seems like they're not going to be able to, keep a level head right now. It's just panic on the back end. The players are a bit flustered, and they are trying to recover from that, but Becker really just needs to take a second, deep breath, and recenter themselves because they're making mistakes they should not be right now.
And it goes back. Oh, wait. I want to see Jake make the shot here. Okay, he did. I thought that was going to go in. But it goes back to trust, right? You've got to trust your teammates. And when you see them grouping up on threes a lot and missing those rotates, I think there's a misconstrued trust there, or they're expecting a play. It just feels like there's a component missing, whether it be miscommunication or whether it be knowing your teammates going to be there. They've got to regain that now more than ever. 2 minutes in, 3 minutes on the clock. They are doing a great job of holding Champlain. It's only 1-0 in a very manageable game.
Yeah, this is a very, very manageable position. These scorelines have been pretty tight so far. It's been very small separators, but again, this is the issue. It's the extended pressure. Look how much time there was before someone took a shot there. It was a nice shot, I believe, out of Yokels that ripped on. Not a bad one at all, but the fact that it took about 5 seconds for them to get there to take that shot gave enough time that Jake could get into the back end and make the save. So that's the issue we're seeing right now for everyone off of Becker. They are getting their opportunities. They are getting that shot on target that they're hoping for, but they're giving so much time and letting off so much pressure that their opponents eventually get comfortable, get into position, and they're not going to be making mistakes like that. So right now, it's about keeping them in awkward positions and making it count. That shot at a Mountain Drew will not be enough. The extended pressure is starting to build, but they just can't seem to find that final shot that'll hit the back of the net.
Wow, that was a great save from Jake and Bake too, stopping and getting possession on the ground. When he ran out of boost in the air, I applaud him for that one. That was actually a really great play.
It's well done. And again, that's the other issue about this entire thing. I think we can both confirm on this one here, Nuclear. This is a just good Champlain team as well. They are efficient. They are working well. They are not making very many mistakes. And really, that's the issue, is not only do you have to try and start correcting your mistakes on Becker, but once you do that, you then have to still take down CCE, who right now, for all purposes, look incredibly in form.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Who would you say is putting on the most pressure right now on the side of CCE onto Becker?
Ooh, that's a hard one to say. I'd probably just say Jake, because it seems like he's jumping on everything. Oh, my word. Never mind, it's Humphreys. Humphreys 100%. We'll give it to Humphreys. What on earth was this? Billy pops this one out to Humphreys. Humphreys cherry picking on the other end. Just redirects it perfectly in for the second goal now for CCE.
That was a great misdirect from Humphreys, Bass, and I got to tell you, that was a great play. He got in front of the ball. He was able to get there in time to turn his angle and aim it right at the net. They weren't expecting it. They thought it was going to be a backboard play, and it really caught him off guard.
Unfortunately so, and well, now it's becoming an even bigger task for Becker to try and come back here. They're down by 2 goals, a lot less manageable than that 1-goal comeback we were talking about earlier, and well, with only a minute left, they've got to turn on the Jets now or never. Yokels will try and take this one down the side, not quite able to, but actually does get a good second touch. No follow-up touch, though, out of Becker there. No player going to try and jump on that one in the corner, and by the time they do, it's a double commitment. Both Drew and PA are going to be in that corner, and it's going to leave room. Oh, I thought for a counterattack. Yoko's going to push up pretty far, though. All guns ablazing. Have to try some sort of offense here, and another shot comes through out of PA. But again, it just doesn't have that final firepower. The defense here for CCE has been impeccable.
Oh, yeah, the shots themselves, I feel like CCE has had a lot of time to get there. I feel like these shots coming out from Becker don't have the vitriol that they do from the side of CCE. The ball is taking quite a bit of time to get into the net, and they're not making what seems like very complicated touch plays. We're going to look here in the last 7 seconds, seeing if they can get something on the board. Humphrey's going to block it out. That's looking like it's going to be game.
Indeed it is, and CCE will continue on with their dominance here throughout this season. As they take, excuse me,
a sneeze
there.
They take a massive sneeze.
As they take their 3rd win in a row here to open up the season, and again, it's another sweep for them. And unfortunately, again, it's another sweep for Becker as well. Almost said sneeze there. It's another sweep for Becker, and this is not the way that they've wanted their season to start so far. But there are a lot of positives here, Nuclear. They definitely did play well, and there were many moments there where it really did seem like they could probably pull that one back. Unfortunately, today was not the day for them to do so, but still, definitely a good performance out of Becker and a lot to work around from here on out.
Oh, that last game, for sure, was, in my opinion, the most competitive. I thought that last game, Becker was really on top of it. They were doing their best getting those rotates out. It just seemed a lot more like they were aggressive and on top of it than their prior games. Whereas, it looked like the whole set, they playing around each other very well. That last 3 minutes of that last game, they were getting those rotates out. They were hitting it off backboard. They were going for those passing plays. It just, the dots didn't connect. The jigsaw pieces didn't fit the puzzle.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, and again, it's really not to just say that, Becker dropped the ball here today. I don't want to say that in any way, shape, or form. This was also just a performance out of Champlain that you need to be beyond your A game to be able to stop them there. If it was their offense that wasn't electric, it was their defense that was making up for it. The first two games, awesome offense the entire time, and good offense at the end there, too. That ridiculous redirect we saw out of Humphreys was amazing. But at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they had at least, if not more than 10 saves in that final game alone. So it really was a defensive effort as well as an offensive effort out of CCE. All around, very well played. So just good job to them. Really, really well done. And unfortunately, that's just going to, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes for Becker. Not the strongest start that they were hoping for, but definitely, like we said, a lot to improve on from here on out.
Oh, yeah, and Champlain having a very, very strong start to their season, now winning their third week. We did see some chinks in the armor, though, in the first two games. They did have some plays that were a little questionable and could have honestly been played well off of had they had a team that was, there on top of that and on top of their defense.
Yeah, I think it's just, different day, different scenario. There could be a completely different score line. Definitely both teams really put their A game out here today. But, it's just sometimes that is the way that the cookie crumbles here. That's the way that it goes. And it's going to be what it is for this first game of week number 3 here. And it's been a good one so far, Chase. This really has been a great day of Rocket League, and we want to remind you guys that if you want to keep up with everything here that the NECC is doing, make sure to follow us on our socials, !socials in the chat. We'll make sure to bring all of that up. You can check us out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere that we might be posting, so you can keep track of everything that we're doing here. So, really, a great start to this day, and honestly, we can't do this without a couple of the people behind the scenes. We do want to give a quick shout out to a couple of our partners here at the NECC. One of which we'd like to thank is MetaPro Gaming. MetaPro Gaming is a full-service esports management and developmental and consulting company. Meta provides esports coaching, college esports management, and arena design and equipment. Visit them at metaprogaming.gg to learn more. Additionally, we would also like to thank Respawn. Respawn products are forged for all-day comfort for content creators, professionals, casual players, and anyone looking to upgrade their setup. I specifically have also been able to upgrade my setup, thankfully, because of Respawn. They were gracious enough to send me this chair here, and I absolutely love it. I can personally say it is incredibly comfortable, and I really love sitting in it every day for these casts. So Respawn has been battle-tested and achieves a level of comfort that leaves your competitors in the dust. Live to play another day with Respawn, your battle-ready partner. So we want to give a shout-out to those guys first off. We do have some more people we'd like to thank afterwards, so make sure to stick around just at the end of the stream to see who else makes all of this possible. But for right now, Nuclear, I think we're just trying to make sure that we can get one of these players in here, and we'd I think we're getting told something by our producer here, so that might be a little bit more difficult than we had previously thought, trying to make sure on that one. But again, we'd love to be able to speak to one of these players and get their opinion on everything that's going on. If they're excited about their third win in a row, because I would have to imagine for CCE here, they're probably rather excited that they've started off with such a hot streak here.
Yeah, one could say they've really put the foot on the pedal and taken it to the metal in these games. Every week, they've come out very, very strong. And at some point, you're going to come into these matches and have the expectation to win. And you can't have that, right? So I'm interested to see if CCE keeps up the fire or if, something may happen and they get knocked down. But nonetheless, this week, they played extremely well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, that was Chase, thank you very much for coming through here today, my guy. I think we're still having a little bit of issues in the back end trying to get okay, all right, so we are indeed having some issues getting the players. So I think for right now, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to head to a quick little break, and we're going to hear some words for some of the other people who make all of this possible. So for myself, for Nuclear, for everyone behind the scenes, thank you for being here for this very first match. Like we said, quick little break, check out some words from some of our partners, and then we'll be back with our second match of the day. See you soon.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
Hi, are you curious about careers in the booming video game industry? Imagine getting to spend all 4 years of college doing exactly what you love. You can at the game studio at Champlain College, located in beautiful Burlington, Vermont. Champlain College's world-renowned game development program consistently ranks in the top 20 game design schools by the Princeton Review, and its graduates go on to work at AAA studios around the world, including Ubisoft, Sony Bend, Insomniac Games, and more. You'll work in collaborative teams with other game art, game design, game programming, and game production management majors in 6 state-of-the-art game labs modeled after industry studios. You'll be taught by game industry expert professors whose entire focus is on your success. You can even study abroad and be fully immersed in the game industry at Champlain's Montreal campus, located in one of the world's largest gaming hubs. Find out more at gamestudio.champlain.edu.